Hi everyone, my name is Lizzie and I am going to be setting up my bullet journal for March. I thought I'd show you how I do it. I do a pretty minimal approach when I do my bullet journal. I at first tried to do a lot of colors. I tried to do a lot of decoration and I found that I just can't keep up with it, and it kind of makes me not want to plan because I'm not making it look the way I really want it to. So I've taken a whole new approach. I kind of have gone pretty minimally. I'll show you my February. So this is how I usually will set it up, and then I'll walk through it for March. When you go back to the Ryder Carroll original bullet journal videos, he sets up his monthlies like this, and I've kind of stuck with it. And what I like to do is do the months, the days of the month all down one side of the page, and then I like to just write one cute memory from the day, and that way it kind of is a nice way for me to track how I'm spending my days. And the first day of March is, I think, a Wednesday, but I'll have to look that up. 3, 4. Am I shaking the camera? "30 days has September, April, June, and November." I still do that every time that I have to do months. First day of March is a Thursday, so I just like to do a little track for the day of the week on the side. I do Thursdays as an R just because obviously Tuesday is also a T, and that just kind of helps me separate them a bit. Monday. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. I still do that every time that I have to do months. First day of March is a Thursday, so I just like to do a little track for the day of the week on the side. I do Thursdays as an R just because obviously Tuesday is also a T, and that just kind of helps me separate them a bit. Monday, Tuesday. I'm just using a Sharpie pen, a fine pointed one. Okay, so this is where I'll go in and I'll fill in sorry, I moved the camera there. I'll fill in any holidays. So St. Patrick's Day is coming up this month. So I'll grab my green pen. Oh, it looks like March 17th is St. Patrick's Day. And I am not Irish, but almost all of my friends are, and they always like to make a big deal out of St. Patrick's Day. They always have family parties that I'm invited to, which is pretty nice. And then daylight savings time ends, and I'm gonna do that as yellow for more sunshine, which I'm dying for. I get out of work around 6:30, and it's always dark when I get out, and I just want some sunshine. Daylight savings ends. Whee! And then Passover starts on the 31st, so I will put Passover there. So besides these holidays or anything that I have planned that I would fill in, I think I'm going to Atlantic City on the 10th to the 11th, so I would go AC, and I'll just do a little arrow. And then I think that's it. Anything else, other appointments that I have, I would fill in. But other than that, I go in and I like to do my kind of one line a day. So that's how I do my monthly. I also like to do a little mini calendar over here. I'll show you my February, just so I can kind of keep track of what dates. I didn't actually fill anything in on this. Sometimes I will, like the Super Bowl. I have filled in another calendar, and I just don't keep up with this as much, but I like to see what day of the week is which and to be able to fill in something if I do want to. So I always like to include this just to have. So let me fill that in next. And I'm gonna use my fine Sharpie again. Where's my fine? Here it is. And I know some people start their calendars on Monday, and I'll do that for my weeklies if I do a weekly, but I don't like to do it for my monthlies. I like to kind of keep the regular calendar for my weeklies. I think I marked that in the wrong spot. I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, inside, 1, 2, 3 inside. This actually takes a lot of my concentration. Hopefully my face is not like in this entire shot because I'm like so close to this camera trying to count. So then I go through, I just do lines. Sometimes I get a little more creative with this, but often I just like to kind of keep it simple. Just saves time. And I will go in with some color to fill in the activities in the month. So that's where I'll kind of get my color from. Like I said, I like to keep it a little bit minimalist. Not that I don't love people who put a lot of color and decoration into their bullet journals because I love to look at that stuff. But like I said, I just don't keep up with it. And it got disappointing, to be honest. So that was when I kind of stopped putting so much pressure on myself and just started doing whatever worked for me, which was the minimalist one. But I will add pops of color, add a little bit of washi tape. I don't do stamps. I don't like to buy a lot of stuff for my bullet journal. I think it's kind of a waste, to be honest. I think it's a waste of plastic and resources, and I really like to not use that much. So I just stick to kind of basics. My usual pens, a couple colors that I use are Papermate Flares that I actually had for my old job, and I just took them home after I left it. They were my personal pens. It's not like I stole them, but yeah, no. Just a disclaimer. 17. Oh, am I gonna fit it? Yes! Dude, that could not have worked out any better. I didn't, as you could see, I didn't count ahead, so I didn't really know what I was getting into. So that's March, and then I always put a little group of to-dos for the month. Like for February, you saw it was my taxes, or I had to get my car inspected. And then I like to do it for each month. And then if I do have some weekly to-dos, I'll put them together in a weekly. So let's see if there's any outstanding to-dos from February that I haven't done. I had to put my knitted hats in my Etsy shop, and I think that's it as far as carrying over. I'm sure there will be more for me to add. Like I'll have to pack for Atlantic City. I'm going for some friend's birthday, so I'll have to wait and do that. But in the meantime, this is all I have. I'm sure I'll go through and fill in a couple more. So on my next page, I like to leave a spot there as a little bit of bleed through, but to be honest, I don't really mind, especially because I fill in this page, which is March Memories. And I like to do this also in black, and I think I'm gonna do a little bit of faux calligraphy. These videos, and it's like all inspiring, but I don't know how to do that, so I just like do my regular cursive that I went in school and add those little fat marks on all the downstrokes, which is what I learned how to do for faux calligraphy. I might go in and make them even a little bit fatter, but let me see how it looks first. So anywhere where your pen would have gone down, like this R, you go in and you fatten it up. Also helps you adjust any letters, like that E wasn't all that great. And you can go in and kind of reshape it. So maybe I'll add some cute decoration. And I don't take my decorations too seriously. I'm not that great of an artist, so I just kind of like to do basic stuff. I'm good at copying something, but I'm not great at coming up with my own decorations. Let me peek back and see what's next. My planning. I always forget, to be honest. Oh, my tracker. I am not great at keeping up with my tracker, but I like to have it when I do feel inspired to kind of go in and fill it in. So I do keep it every month. I just don't always fill it in. So I'm going to turn my book sideways and see if you guys can still see it. And I do a horizontal tracker. And I only track, to be honest, a few things, just because, like I said, I really don't keep up with it. So it's not too bad. I just switch back and forth from a medium Sharpie pen and a fine Sharpie pen. And what I do is, instead of filling in the blocks, I fill in the dots. It's just a little less work, so I have to make sure that that the measurements even out, so you write on the dots instead of writing in the open area. That's just my little trick for making sure that your dots are open. So 31. My writing's pretty big, so this is always hard for me. Shoot. And then I don't take my mistakes too seriously. I honestly just usually write over them, or if I have a little, what's the word? Whiteout. I'll go over it and use whiteout. I don't have any by me, so maybe I'll go back later when I get closer to the end of the month and I notice it more. I'll go through and I'll change it. But for now, I really don't mind. I've used this book. I think people might agree, if they've been bullet journaling for a while, that you kind of get to the point where you don't take it that seriously anymore, and you kind of just use it the way that you want it to be used. You don't have to put so much pressure on yourself for it to be perfect, because that makes it honestly not all that fun. And this whole thing is supposed to be something that works for you and that you enjoy. So I have kind of evolved it to meet my needs. And I'm going with a finer pen and make my line. Again, I don't take it all that seriously. Hopefully my face is not all up in your grill. I only go about halfway down because I really don't track a lot. What else? I don't even know what I do track, to be honest. So I was trying to do Frugal February, and I really sucked at it. So I'm gonna try to continue it into March. No spend, going to the gym, which doesn't happen often, getting 10,000 steps, which also doesn't happen often, which is why I really don't keep up with my tracker. Low carb, which I've been trying to do. What else do I track? Making my own breakfast rather than buying it. I struggle with making breakfast. It's just so easy to grab something on the go, and you don't have to like whip out a pan and cook an egg, especially because I am trying to do low carb. No snooze, which has been a horrible process. I cannot keep up with it one bit. And I'm also trying to keep up with a Couch to 10K app. I signed up for a half marathon in September, and that is what I'm trying to do to help myself train. My next pages in my bullet journal are budgeting, and I take budgeting in my bullet journal very, very seriously. I look at it every day. I track it meticulously, and I think it's because I've been through a really intense personal finance journey. I've like become really committed to my personal finance. So this is kind of something, my page that definitely gets used the most is a personal finance page, and I will show you how I set it up. Hi everyone, so I have decided to make a separate bullet journal video for budgeting. I can go a little bit more into depth. I can go a little bit more in detail about what I use and what I do, and hopefully it'll be more helpful for you guys to do a separate video for that. So until then, I hope you enjoyed this plan with me for March 2018. Let me know if you have any comments or suggestions. I'm happy to do any other videos or answer any questions. Love ya, bye.